Welcome back to Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. I'm Patrick Valentine.
That's your first time.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
Today is going to be another fun episode. We're going to be talking about Zachary, his early years, about first 3 to 5 years of his life. We're going to be doing a fun challenge, man.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a beautiful chaos.
Chaos.
I am so proud of you. You have been doing
Perfect.
Always very perfect. You are yourself. You are incredible. I'm very proud of you, Mom, too. It's been a journey doing this podcast together.
Thank you. So proud of both of you.
Yeah.
It's been a great journey together.
Wow, you call us.
It is
It's
a
a
beautiful
beautiful
chaos,
chaos.
man. It is a beautiful chaos. And with that, family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family. Let's get started.
Do it.
So, Mom, in a previous episode, we talked about Zach's open heart surgery. And there's a lot of feelings that got brought up for us.
It was.
It was a really tough time. But something I was thinking about was, what was it like the 6 months prior to him having open heart surgery?
I do have to say before I start there that knowing the segment that we were going to do just brought up a lot of emotions. I think looking back, it took me a few days to really look back and reminisce and think about those moments and those days. Every now and then throughout the year, his heart surgery anniversary comes up, or certain, things that remind me of Zachary's just milestones and how far he's come, first of all. Like, it's just worth putting all your effort into helping, someone like Zachary develop, even though it does take time. But yeah, I think I was all, as we say, in our feels, and I am right now. I really am. So looking back, those first 6 months, I think I mentioned before that Zachary, when he was born, he was really floppy. And I learned through early intervention that he had low muscle tone. And early on, there was a lot of medical terms that I really had to learn. So those first 3 months, Zachary had the most pale skin, didn't show a lot of signs of progress. He nursed for about 3 months. I mentioned this before. He nursed for 3 months. I wish I could have nursed him a little bit more, but I think even for me, the anticipation of that surgery brought on a lot of stress for me. He was the cutest little thing, though, just my little pumpkin. Watching him those first 6 months, it was really hard to determine any type of real personality because he was just so calm and mellow. Didn't sleep through the night. Those are really difficult. Now that I look back, how difficult that time was. And he cried quite a bit. He was, you can tell he was just uncomfortable. And he would sleep on and off during the day, but when it came to nighttime, he wasn't really sleeping at all.
Yeah, I remember that a lot. It was just like, it felt like no one was sleeping.
And his cry was so soft that I was always scared to go to sleep because if I felt like he would wake up in the middle of the night crying, that I wouldn't hear him. By the time he was born in August, so by the time in December, that was about 4 months, right? About 4 months. By the time Christmas came around, I started seeing him struggle with eating a lot more. He didn't gain much weight. I would say by the time his heart surgery, 6 months, He had gained only about maybe 11 pounds, and that's pretty small. And he was struggling with just, like I said, nursing. I also bottle fed him. And there were just a lot of unknowns unfolding very quickly for me. As days went by, I realized the importance of trying to feed him as much as possible because they really wanted him, the doctors really wanted him to gain weight in order to have his open heart surgery. It was
Yeah.
important that he would gain as much weight as possible. And I realized at 4 or 5 months, the doctors were becoming concerned because he really wasn't gaining any of that weight.
And that 4 or 5 months, that means a month prior, you weren't breastfeeding him anymore, correct?
I stopped about 3 months. Like I said, like with the high stress that I was going through, I think I just, milk wasn't coming in anymore. I would have loved to have nursed him past, the 6, even 12 year, maybe year and a half, because he was just so little.
Did that moment, did you feel like you just had to let it go and figure it out? Or what other feelings were you feeling when you realized, oh, I can't nurse him anymore?
There were several things that I was feeling. I felt like such a failure.
Mhm.
I felt devastated because I knew the importance of nursing your children. And not only that, but there's a sense of closeness and connection that you experience when you're nursing your children. It really is. It's one of the most beautiful things that a mother gets to experience with their children. So it was difficult because I knew that if he wasn't nursing, that he wasn't getting the full nutrients that I wanted him to have. But I was thankful that at least for the 3 months that he was able to nurse. And
So knowing what you know now and feeling at those times, as you expressed, devastated, what advice would you give to new mothers, whether they have a child with Down syndrome or not, that can't nurse for whatever reason?
that can't
That
nurse,
can't nurse. Because there's many reasons why that
right?
mothers can't nurse, right? And I think you've expressed it, the ones that want to and choose to, but there is that devastation that happens with new mothers that realize they can't for whatever reason. So as someone that has gone through it, what advice would you give to them?
I think it's fair to say that you could only do sometimes what you can do, as I found myself in that
Mhm.
position, that situation. I'd like to think that there were different alternatives that I perhaps didn't know back then because I struggled even with bottle feeding him and formula because the formula wasn't really sitting well with him. So that was even devastating trying to find the right formula for him. And that's a challenge in itself. So for mothers who either choose or feel like they can't or don't want to, I respect that. I really do because I found myself in a place of knowing that I still had to find a way to nourish my child while not being able to. And I know there's a lot more resources out there now,
Yeah.
a lot more. And there's a lot of moms that are also find alternatives to help their children, especially when there's either a choice or an unfortunate situation not being able to nurse your child. But I always say, not just do what's best for you and your child, but take the opportunity, find those resources, because there's always more that we don't know. And that's how I feel. Like if knowing now, had I maybe searched and looked and alternatives,
Yeah, there's always alternatives.
there has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we've been having babies for centuries, so it's not a new concept. But I think for me, I realized, even looking back, that nourishing your children can go past beyond than just what we think is out there. sure there's more alternatives. We're finding more and more opportunity to have those resources to us at our disposal.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point of there's always alternatives, and also realizing to give yourself grace. Because, again, I've said this before, I've never been a parent, I've never been a mother. But one thing I could always see on the outside looking in is one, mothers are constantly judged for every single decision that they make or don't make. So if you do decide to breastfeed or not, like that's your choice, and like that's okay. And two, if you want to breastfeed but can't, I've seen a lot of mothers go through, as you said, devastated, maybe even blaming themselves, and everything else in between. And understanding that one, there's alternatives, and two, gotta give yourself grace.
And that's hard.
And that's very difficult
It
for
is.
everyone, but I've seen it more difficult for mothers to give themselves grace. And I say this once again, like mothers are the backbone of our society. Mothers are incredible, the most undervalued and underpaid job in this entire world. And mothers are also the hardest on themselves. And I think I've seen that within you of like being the hardest on yourself throughout my childhood, but more specifically right now talking about breastfeeding. Because as you said, you felt like a failure, but you weren't. You're not. It was just an unfortunate circumstance given all the stress you were enduring. What's coming up for you right now?
I think just looking back and thinking of the lack of resources for me. I always just wanted to do the best and be the best. And no one, I don't think I ever came across with anyone saying that it's okay. It's okay. I know it's okay. Now I know
Yeah.
it's okay. I can tell other parents and other mothers it's okay. But I never felt like it was okay. I just felt as though that during those moments of defeated, felt very defeated.
Sounds like you don't feel like you had anyone to turn to.
During that time, no, I don't feel like I. And I mean, like we've said before, it just was.
Mm.
It just was. I knew I had to keep going. I knew I had to continue having faith, if anything. As raw as the emotions are now, I'm grateful for understanding and realizing that you just have to push through.
Yeah.
Like I'm grateful for that. I don't think I ever gave up. I had several moments of feeling defeated. But you just don't give up. I'm happy to see that there are so many resources for moms, so many other opportunities to just connect. That makes me so happy. It really does.
Yeah. The amount of resources that, whether it's nonprofits or social media, has created for new moms that have a child with Down syndrome or just new moms in general
Right.
is incredible.
It's overwhelming. It is very still overwhelming, I'm sure, but
it shows the importance of having a community by your side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What moment or time frame that you may remember that you realized I have to give myself more grace?
Honestly, I don't think that really came until he was much older and you were much older. And by that, I mean maybe in his teens.
Mm.
I was always really focused on what was next. Never really felt like I had moments to even catch my own breath. As I'm sure you recall, whether Zachary's open heart surgery or his medical needs, it wasn't until he was like in his teens when I felt like I can really just pause
Pause and breathe.
and
Yeah,
breathe.
I do remember that. And obviously, I was very young going through that, but it did feel that we were constantly putting out fires somehow, some way, whether it was open heart surgery is a big fire, or rushing to the hospital, or figuring out the next move for us, or financially. It was just constant fire after fire after fire after fire. And I felt it as a kid, but I wasn't making those decisions to put out the fire. And the amount of pressure it sounded that you had, because ultimately we were, as kids, looking up to our parents and being, hey, where do we go from here? Okay, Zach has open heart surgery. Where do we go from here? You were the one ultimately making all those decisions to try to put out these fires and succeeding, I might add.
Well, I mean, I guess it just all depends on your definition of success, right? I think any decisions that I was making was based on like what's the best for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What can I really focus on now? Because there was always something sort of left behind. I can't deal with X, Y, and Z right now. I need to focus on A, B, and C. So, I'd like to think that maybe the success of it, I mean, it's just like anything that happens in life. You deal and you have faith that whatever it is at the forefront, right? Primary was the most important, right? Everybody's health, well-being, food on the
Basic
table,
needs
basic
for every
needs,
human.
roof
Yep.
over our head. So as long as I was making decisions, making sure that those were the key elements that we had, everything else sort of became secondary. That's one of the reasons why I also kept doing sports, that was really part of that primary, because one, you absolutely loved it, right? And I didn't think that removing you from those activities would be fair to you or even to any of us, with the hopes that someday Zachary would as well too, and he did.
Yeah.
But I don't know, as far as extending that grace, and I don't think I realized that I was really hard on myself, like really hard on myself, and it's hard to even let that go, because during that time and during those moments, as things are just coming into play, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of like, oh, I'm being hard on myself. I thought more of like, these are things that have to get done.
Yeah.
These are things that I'm confronted with. These are things that, if I don't do them, no one else is going to do them. So sometimes you don't know your own strength until you really come across these situations in your life. And
You have to face it
I
head
never
on.
felt like breaking under pressure was like an option, or falling apart was an option. It just wasn't an option.
Just facing it.
So
And I think that's what I mean by success is you make the decisions you can with the knowledge you have and the situation at hand. And you keep moving forward. You keep trying to do what's best for you and loved ones and just keep trying to do the right thing. To me, that's success. Because, again, you're looking at a very complex 5, 6, 7, 8 years of medical, financial, life struggles that it's tough for anyone to go through. And to me, success in all that is, yes, of course, getting through it and learning from it and all this process, but it's really keeping on moving forward as best as you can and trying to make the best decision possible and just adapting as you go. That's success to me.
I like that. That's a good way to look at success.
So you talked about how your health started to struggle very early on. I think you said around month 4.
I didn't notice it. It was, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with the high levels of stress and just not sleeping. I felt very strong. I was young. I was about 29
Mm-hmm.
years old. I felt strong. I felt like I can take on anything. And,
You're like, come at me, world. I got this.
yeah, like I really did. And life was going to show me, those challenges, and my birthday around December, I remember there was a surprise party for me. And prior to that, I didn't have a lot of interaction with family because I was really focused on my family, on my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And December came around, and I realized cognitively I was having a really difficult time because I wasn't having conversations. I wasn't in social environments after Zachary's birth. I was just really focused on my day to day with you and Zachary. But when December came around, I realized that just having a simple conversation was probably that moment that I realized something was happening. And I thought it was just an element of brain fog, right? There's something that you hear often, brain fog, or I'm just having brain fog.
Isn't there a saying of something along the lines of mother brain fog or parent brain fog? I forgot
Yes.
the term, but you hear it a lot with
I do. You do
having a
hear it.
newborn.
Yeah. Well, postpartum depression
Mhm.
sets in. There's your body's just trying to get back to some sort of level of normalcy after having a child after delivery. And, there's postpartum depression, there's everything else. Your hair falling out.
So these are all the things you experienced.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But there was something quite different that was happening about that 4 months. It was gradually happening, but like I said, I didn't really pay attention until I found myself in that social environment.
Mm.
So even just having a conversation with you as I am having now,
Yeah.
it was extremely difficult. And sometimes I do have to pause because sometimes I feel like I'm searching for my words. I can write, or even just writing was so difficult. I found myself in a place trying to write a note, and that was really scary. And so even just trying to still taking my prenatal vitamins, at some moment I realized it was the lack of sleep that was just affecting my entire my health.
whole system.
My whole system. I wasn't healing. After having Zachary, I wasn't
Yeah.
giving the time necessary, nor did I have the support or help to help me heal. I went from delivery to just trying to make sure doctor's visits and going into finding what was Zachary's best course of action with his heart surgery. And that was at the forefront of everything. And
That makes sense. You know, like you're in, we talked about it multiple times, survival mode.
I was. I don't think I understood what that was
Yeah.
until you are placed in that situation. And I think that was the beginning of what I felt like what survival mode was. And that,
So you talked about postpartum depression a little bit. And thinking back, this was 24-ish years ago. From my understanding and knowledge, postpartum depression wasn't as commonly talked about as it maybe is today.
correct.
Were you diagnosed with it? Did you know you had postpartum depression? What was kind of all that intertwined with you?
No, there wasn't really like a diagnosis. I know even after having you, I feel like I bounced back a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
I still felt some of those. So it wasn't like a foreign experience.
Yeah.
Second time around, right? Having Zachary. But with you, I went back to work after a year and just sort of went back to almost a little more normal. You know, it felt a little more normal. I did feel, looking back now, understanding postpartum depression
Yeah, of
now,
course. Yeah.
you know, on a whole different level than when you're actually experiencing it. Yeah, with you, I bounced back a little bit sooner. I think within like 6 months, I felt a lot better, really active. Like things were just different, even though I had different levels, different stress levels, even just life.
Mm-hmm.
But the stress levels with after having Zachary and the heart surgery, knowing that the heart surgery, you know, we were anticipating the heart surgery. No, I think again, I wasn't fully diagnosed. I think because it was not as talked about,
Yeah.
that wasn't in the forefront for me. I put all of that sort of in the back burner. I just thought, again, I felt strong. I felt like I can just take it on, whatever it is I needed to do. I just did. You know, there's no sitting and thinking about it. I just felt get up and do what I would typically do. But no, I don't ever remember being fully diagnosed. But looking back, that was the beginning of several years of dealing with not just the depression, but a lot of other ailments that came along.
When did you realize it for you that it was what you were going through?
I don't think it was necessarily a sense of realization. I knew. I
You
knew
knew.
I knew I was struggling after
Got
that
it. Okay.
social. Yes, no, it
And
wasn't
so in
something.
December is like when you felt that you knew.
It was a different sense of, because like I said, cognitively, I was struggling and I didn't have to really socialize, or did I didn't socialize prior to those 4 months, because like I said, I was just there doing my day-to-day
With
job
Zachary.
with Zachary, with you,
me. Yeah.
school. There wasn't any reason for me to. I know I was struggling because I wasn't sleeping. But by the time, like I said, December, and it wasn't it wasn't anything that, oh, I'm going through depression, or I knew the feeling, the sensation, but you both were like my driving force daily. You were the purpose and my reason to get up every morning, and you know, with joy and love to do it. It didn't stop me. But slowly, this engine, the mom engine, was just slowing down.
You could only go 1,000 miles per hour for so long.
Yes.
Mhm.
And, by the grace of God, that's what was holding me up. And because this lasted a long time, and it was just a slow, like I was obviously burning the candle from both ends. And like I said, it wasn't like this realization. I knew.
You knew
I just
when you were
didn't know
going through
how long I can go for before I was beginning to feel like broken down.
What do you potentially want to say to mothers that are either feeling like they're going through postpartum depression or been diagnosed or going all through these very hard times, honestly? Because I know, unfortunately, many mothers go through postpartum depression. And again, I've never been a mom, but I've seen it from you. I've seen it from other mothers of how difficult that can be. As someone that's gone through it multiple times, what do you want to say to them?
I wish I had this like step to step of what to do.
Yeah.
But be kind to yourself.
Mhm.
Do extend grace to yourself. Find the help. I had a difficult time asking for help because I didn't know what I needed. And if you are in a place to ask for help, if you are in a place to have family and loved ones around you, I think properly also nourishing yourself is so important. I I took that for granted.
Mm.
I found myself moments and times just not eating, and that doesn't help. That is very detrimental to your own health. And do the things that are necessary to help you, because I know for me, these were the circumstances, right, that led me into this time in my life. And prior to that, I don't think I had ever really experienced depression, sadness, yes, but not these levels. And I think it's important to whether you're taking your vitamins and just take care of and take those moments. If you have the time to exercise, do those things. Do subtle things that still allow you to either heal yourself. It's important to take that time. I wish I would have. I wish I would have really saw the importance of just not taking care of you and Zachary, but also taking care of me, because that was going to be my gift to both of you. And I didn't see the importance. Or not that I didn't see the importance, but I didn't put it as a top priority as well. And take that time. It's so important because it's a gift. It's a gift to your own children for them to see you well.
And a gift to yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's beautifully said. I think it's very, very important to be kind to yourself, love yourself,
Yeah.
and loving yourself can look in many different ways, can be in many different ways, from exercising to watching a movie to self-care night to date night to whatever it may be, because eventually you're going to be trying to give to others, in your case, like to me and Zach, where there's nothing left in the bucket.
Right. The well is empty.
Yeah.
The well was empty.
Mm-hmm.
And that is even more terrifying to find yourself in a place of that situation where you feel like you have nothing left to give.
Mm.
And yeah, I encourage you all moms to always connect with other support groups, or like you said, just be kind to yourself, love yourself, find those things that refuel you. A lot of R&R, if possible, is
There's different
important.
ways to like ask for help, right?
Right,
There's therapy, there's family, there's
right.
potentially like the spouse. It's okay to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't make you less than or weak,
No,
or
absolutely not.
it actually is the opposite. It shows your strength to realize, hey, I'm not my best self right now for whatever reason. Let's go find some help to refill my bucket. I think that actually shows way more strength than most things in life, to be willing and able to ask and accept help.
I agree.
And to new mothers, if you're going through this, you got this. I think you are stronger and more incredible than you may even imagine. We love you, and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
I think we've talked about that multiple
Yes.
times, and you've expressed to me multiple times throughout our childhood, is like there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, because your circumstances don't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know that. At least I experienced that. And I think within that year, even for myself, knowing and realizing what different stages, I was going through with you or Zachary, or after his heart surgery, I learned to be in that moment and tell myself, okay, this is where we're at right now, and it's not going to last forever. And it's important. It's important to be able to allow yourself to see that light at the end of the tunnel and know that it's there.
Yeah.
And have faith. If anything, I've said this time and time again, it's my faith that fueled me. It's my faith that sustained me. And without God's graces for me, I don't think I'd be able to be here today.
That's beautiful. I know you talked about early intervention a little bit at the beginning. What age did Zach start early intervention?
Let's see. So if I think back, we had, after his open heart surgery, even prior to his heart surgery, I had to hold Zachary a lot because he didn't have the strength to, at 6 months, he just didn't have the strength to sit up.
I remember
He-
that. Even me holding him,
Yeah.
it felt very,
He was very floppy. He just
Yeah,
low muscle.
very fragile.
Felt like that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And so after his open heart surgery, 6 months, I think they started coming at about, I want to say about a year, just to do like visits to see how he was doing. They wanted to really help him early on. So I'd say about between that year and 18 months, so 12 to 18 months is when uh, we started that early intervention. And again, these were all new terms, things that we take for granted. They began looking at his core strength and gross motor skills about around those 18 months. Zachary, I had to have him after, let me see, I'm trying to think. About a year, more closer to about 18 months, I tried to introduce a little bit of baby food. So I would make baby food And because he had such difficulty swallowing, I believe they call it dysphagia. I believe that's what it is. And this was new to me. And he would have difficulty swallowing even with his formula. So I would have to prep him up in his car seat and hold up his little chin up while I would feed him. So, the milk wouldn't cause choking. So about 18 months, I started introducing a little bit of baby food, things that were a little more thick in texture, like sweet potatoes. So part of the intervention was helping him with those skills, because the food would just sit in his mouth. He would have the tendency of just pushing it out with his little tongue because he didn't have that strength in the muscle and the know-how to eat. They worked a lot on his gross motor skills, his fine motor skills when he was a little bit older. He needed a lot of core strength, as we talked about how floppy he was. He just didn't have those muscles and that strength to sit up. Zachary, I think about 18 months, started sitting up a little bit more with a lot of support. And I remember when even you wanted to feed him. We would be there together, and you'd find it so interesting, him just like throwing his food out. I'm
Just like putting the food in his mouth and then it's just like coming out.
Yeah. And he learned, he enjoyed it. You can tell he enjoyed it, but it was definitely a process. And like I said, things you take for granted.
I feel like he felt like it was a game at that point.
Yeah. He was so cute. And so about 18 months, like I said, he started sitting up a little bit more. He didn't crawl right away after sitting up, but he found ways to really, what's the word here?
To move around the house.
He found ways to really move around by rolling.
He rolled fast.
He rolled really fast. And then
I got dizzy watching him roll.
And that was his way of adapting, because he just, again, it was just helping him to straighten up his core. And the funny thing is, one day I remember watching him arch himself backwards with his little heels on the ground and his head arched so back that touched the carpet. So right at the top of
like
his
top
head.
of his head, yeah.
And he would arch himself and scoot as another form of getting from one place to the other. And I tried to discourage it as much as possible because he was bringing off the top of his hair from the carpet. But
he was balding already.
He was,
like 6
he
months
was starting as it is. It took him a while for his hair to grow in, but I mean, it was the cutest thing. I've never seen anything like that. He thought it was the most fun way, because he would just be arched like that for, I don't know, for a long time.
Yeah, because he would essentially just be flat on his back and somehow just move backwards, arched with his head.
And fast. He'd do it so fast.
So fast. And then he would do that. And then if he needed to go right or left, he'd roll. And then he would do the arch again.
And then roll the other way.
And then roll the other way if he needed to turn around.
And it was funny because you can see him, his little eyes would just be staring at you straight on. And yeah, that was the funniest thing. And I have no idea. It was something, I'm sure he figured out a way to adapt, to move from one place to the other. And then soon after he did start crawling, I'm going to say about almost 2 years, in between that 18 months of 2 years. So it took him a while, but we were there celebrating every milestone, and realizing that he just needed to work a little harder.
Yeah.
And get that core strength. So proud. I think that's when I started realizing how important it was, not only early intervention, but just starting realizing that he was going to do these things, but all at his time. That he was going to
100%.
hit some of those milestones, because early on I didn't know. I really had no real understanding of what it was going to take to help him get to those stages, or even if it was going to happen.
Did you compare to other children with Down syndrome or other children that
No,
didn't have
I
Down
really
syndrome?
didn't have anybody to
No.
compare to. I think what I just compared to was your typical milestone.
By the book,
You started walking at 8.5 months. That was different. I knew that wasn't going to happen for him.
Yeah.
But as time went on and I saw him getting stronger, and even after open heart surgery, there was so much life there, and his desire to do things, you can tell from those little his little eyes said so much. He would speak with his look in his eyes, and
so much personality.
So much personality.
So
As you
much
see him now,
personality.
that was just really...
His personality started from a very young age.
Well, you were able to see after
Yeah.
open heart surgery. I think you were really able to see his little personality and his curiosity. And I remember even through those moments of him learning to crawl, right? Chasing you around the house, wanting to be with you while you were in front of the TV playing your games, your video games. He would tug on the cords.
A little Nintendo 64
Yeah.
or later PlayStation.
He just followed you everywhere and just wanted to be there. And, knowing that he'd go in there and try to get your attention. And
I remember the video games, I would try to have one unplugged and be like, here you go, like you play this and then play that. But then eventually he found out, oh, it's not plugged. And then he started tugging
yeah.
my controller again. It didn't last very long of that little trick. But he just wanted to be a part of everything like I was doing.
Yeah, he did.
And I remember his eyes and his personality just constantly shining through, as we see now in the videos of him today. But just imagine a mini version, mini him,
Yeah.
a mini me.
His little smile
Yeah.
in his eyes, and his, eyebrows would just go up and tell you so much. And you knew when he was up to like no good that, he'd have that look of, oh, did I just get caught look? But yeah, his personality, just so much, and such a little love. I mean, you would feel his love through his hugs and
Through his smile,
his
through his
smile.
eyes.
And I think once he finally started walking, wow, it was about I want to say close to 3 years. He found like all this world just became, bigger for him. These opportunities to explore, and he just kept going. He was a little engine that just would not stop, for sure. And like I said, it took him a while, but we got there with a lot of work and therapy. And I was so proud of him. So proud of him. You can tell that he really wanted to, that he worked hard.
He was ready to explore this world.
He really was.
Still is to this day. And I think that's what's so beautiful about him, and many other things that are beautiful about him. But one of it is his constant curiosity about the world and just wanting to explore it and wanting to be a part of people's lives and wanting to connect with people. You saw
Right.
that at a very young age.
And we went through stages. We went through real stages because I remember even going through a stage where he didn't want anybody around him.
Mm.
I don't really remember that.
But that was older. That was a little bit older, right?
No, it was when he was younger because I remember that when I started seeing some of those sensory issues, he really did not want to be touched, and it was a stage. So I'm trying to think because once he started walking, he was a runner. Like once he was able to
took off
get
everywhere.
going,
Yeah.
he was a runner. And there were these stages of, I can tell even back then, of just sensory overload. And because even when he would eat, he didn't want to touch his food. There was something about that tactile feeling that he just not
wasn't a fan of.
just not. And it was difficult because he would just watch his food, look at his food, and did not want to touch it. So that took a very long time. He started using a fork sooner than he ever would touch his food with his hands and put it in his mouth. He just wouldn't. He didn't like that feeling and that texture. Yeah, I remember using like the spoon. So I taught him early on how to use the spoon, but sometimes even that was just too much. He didn't like the feeling. But that was also a stage, I want to say somewhere between maybe like 3-4 years old, that he didn't want to be around people. I don't remember, everything was like, no, no. He'd swing his arms back and forth and just like, no. No, I do. I remember those stages, and I didn't know if it was going to be a stage that would last a long time, but soon enough, like I said, he was a runner. You set him down, and you just take off.
Yeah.
Those were some fun times.
It's enjoying every part of it. And I think that is all the memories that stick with me. Every little thing. And talking about it with you, and those memories kind of like seep back here and there about him and just how much progress he's made.
Yes.
Very, very grateful.
I'm really grateful for those early intervention because this wasn't anything that I really understood. And it was during the hospital after his open heart surgery that I got connected with a regional center, and just early intervention was just so important for him. And it's very important, I think, even more so now looking back, and just the gratitude, because I don't think I would have been able to understand those developmental late stages and those medical terms. But it's important. It's important to get your kids early into early intervention. It makes a big difference.
It really does. It really does.
What are we doing? What's the challenge today?
All right, Zach.
Go to you.
Today we got the blindfold drawing challenge. All these things that we're going to be drawing is something that reminds us of Zach when he was younger, or something that he really enjoyed in his younger years. So we'll get to know Zach in this challenge as well a little bit more when he was a kid.
Surprise.
And we'll surprise friends, and he always liked friends. Okay.
What?
Oh, this is going to be a challenge.
All right. Zach, I will say, me and you can't really draw. The fact that we're going to be blindfolded while drawing.
Oh, this is going to
That's
be.
gonna- Yeah, I'll go first. Okay.
Go, Matthew.
You and Mom have to guess what it is, okay? Okay. All right.
Where are you going?
All right, man. Are you... Did you fart on me?
Not me, me.
That wasn't you? Oh, who is the name that farted on me? Zachary.
Yay!
1 point for you. That was his challenge.
That is how it
He
is.
adapted your challenge.
Okay. All right, Zach.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay, so this first thing that I'm
Oh,
gonna.
no.
Hold on, he's adjusting. Okay, here we go.
Go.
Okay, this first thing that I'm gonna draw. All right, so this was very special to us as a family. We did this every year. Um, always had a great time, and I think I have a pretty good drawing right here going on.
What could it be? As a family, doing it every year.
Mommy Cassie.
Every year, once a year. I think I know.
Okay, Zach, do you know what it is? What is
Yeah.
it, man?
What is it?
Guess what it is.
WC.
It
It
is
is
a
a
Christmas
Christmas
tree,
tree.
man. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
Okay. Oh,
Really
look at that
good.
drawing. There
You know,
we
the
go.
drawing's not so bad,
Look at
considering it was blindfold.
Look at that. Look
Okay.
Look
That's
at
not
that.
too bad. That's not too
Right
bad.
there.
Good job, Zachary.
Dude. There we go, bro.
It's Christmas then, right?
Christmas. Christmas tree. We always got a Christmas tree. Went to the Christmas tree. Your girlfriend friends?
Mom,
Girlfriend friends. Okay.
Yeah, when you guys were younger, we used to go to the farm or
Yeah, we always went to the Christmas tree
tree.
farm. It was always a great time. I do remember one time knocking Zach out with the trunk tree.
Mommy
that is a core memory.
You remember that?
Oh,
He was trying to
yes.
help.
Yes.
Okay. Listen. Look.
Listen.
Real quick. Mom's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, mom's turn. That is a core memory. I kind of knocked up his chin with the trunk tree.
I know you felt so bad.
I did too. He
Felt
was just trying to
so
be
bad.
helpful,
I
man.
know.
Yeah.
He's like a little guy just trying to be helpful.
He was
but,
itty bitty.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's.
Oh,
it
I
knocked him out
remember
pretty good.
that. Okay, this is a challenge. As we were talking about Zachary's like younger years, what's happening? I'm missing out on the party. Wait, I'm not even writing.
Come on, Mom.
Hold on. I gotta take the lid off.
There we go.
Okay,
there
here we go.
Now we're getting into drawing phase
Okay.
right now.
I can do this now. Okay.
Dude.
Oh,
Okay. This
bless.
is interesting.
Oh, bless.
Oh, thanks.
As Zachary was learning how to eat, there was definitely one of his favorites. Darn it. Where did I go? Oh. And like this became one of his favorite foods. And it was just so much easier for him to swallow, and it's just flavorful. And I mean, who doesn't love these? So, I'm gonna see if I can make a few.
We're
of
in our
them.
own conversation right now.
I know. I can feel
That's a
that you
big
guys are
panic.
like doing your own. But let's just say, for instance, that we got a few of them on here. So, okay.
All right, reveal what you got, Mom. What you got? Let's see it.
Do I turn it? Do I take my flag phone off?
I think I left. I don't know. Like leave it off for
Okay.
now, or leave it on.
Okay.
Leave it on. There we go.
Here we go. I'm not sure what this is. What is that? Did it come out?
You think it's a banana? There we go, bro. There we go, man.
That means did it do that bad?
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Not bad, man. Not bad. There we go.
Okay, 3 bananas there. Good job, Zachary. You couldn't figure it out, Patrick?
I wanted to say canoe, but I was giving Zach an opportunity.
To eat a canoe? Really?
I wasn't paying attention.
Obviously.
Me and Zach were having our own conversation here.
Look, he was.
Dude,
look
a
at-
banana,
so
bro. There we
proud
go.
of you.
Up top.
That is
Bam.
a banana. Pretty good. Blindfolded? That is pretty good.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Ready? Zach got his prompt. Go ahead, Zach. Start drawing it.
Go ahead.
Okay, whatever you want to draw. Whatever the prompt is. Come on, you got this. He's clearly tracing his hand right now. Um. Okay. Okay.
Nutty.
Okay, ready? Let's see it. Let's see the drawing.
Oh, hold on.
He said, hold on, it wasn't correct. Sir, it's called Blindfold Drawing Challenge, not.
That's a big thumb.
Nutty.
Now he's ready.
Okay.
Wait.
I think it's a hand.
What the hell? What's it back, man?
Is it a hand?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Good job, man.
Woo.
Whew. There we go.
Sorry,
Okay.
man.
Give me that. Thank you.
You're so silly.
Oh, well.
I don't know if that was the prompt.
Ugh.
I don't know if that was the prompt, but this hand right here, I think it kind of looks like a turkey, like a chicken. You could get a turkey out of this.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Check your hand.
Yeah, Turkey Day ham. I'm ready for Turkey Day too.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I'm ready for Turkey Day. You got little eyes right here.
No.
You got a little.
Pass
tail.
it to
Okay, my turn. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing.
the people.
Okay, I'll do blindfold. All right. So the next drawing is something is a movie that we love to watch.
What do you think it is? A movie. So many movies. What do you think it is?
Okay. I think I got
A
it.
movie?
All right, ready? Set. Ta-da.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Wait,
Not
wait.
good?
Hold on.
Come on, guys.
Come on, mom.
Come on. Look. There's a lot of them.
The pressure. I thought at first it was like a soccer.
No.
No, has nothing to do with
No,
sports.
it's nothing to do with sports. No.
Huh?
Childhood.
Okay, childhood.
Think Disney.
There's a lot of them.
Oh,
What is it? What is it? Tell me.
What is it?
Mulan 2.
No, it's not Moana 2. Sorry.
Well, it kind of looks like a little dude up in the corner. I thought maybe that's Santa, and his sleigh sort of fell off.
Slay.
No,
It's
wait.
just one little guy.
One little guy,
Yeah, it's one little guy flying.
he's
there.
flying.
Yeah, he's like shoo.
Tata Quash.
It's not Santa Claus.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Toy Story.
It's a toy.
Toy Story.
Toy Story, man. It is Toy Story. I even wrote.
See, it looks like a goalpost over there.
I wrote Andy right there. That's supposed to be the boot.
Oh, yeah.
Andy.
No.
This guy was flying
Oh,
up
that's
here.
a boot. That's a boot. You said boot?
That was the attempt at a boot. Does it look like a boot?
Yeah.
Zach says yes. See? And these are all the other little toys. Like when Andy's coming, they like fall asleep.
Oh, is that what that was? Got it.
Does it look like little dots? Yes. But the vision was there.
Thought
Oh,
maybe it was
yeah.
Santa was coming to town and the sleigh kind of threw him off. I don't
I am
know.
impressed that you got Toy Story out of this though.
Well, it
When
was
I
the
said flying. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's go, Zach. Let's do this. Do this, man. Let's go, Mom. Let's
Okay,
go.
here we go.
Sí
Ready?
se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Let's see it, Zach.
This was definitely a childhood favorite. Still enjoys it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The toy.
He still enjoys it. Some of his favorite songs. Oh
Oh,
no.
Oh, no.
No, let's see it. Let's see it.
Say ways.
Sesame Street? You think it's gonna be Sesame Street? Let's see. Let's see what she draws.
Good one. It was one of his early favorites. Played music. Again, he just spent hours. And
I go day.
Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande wasn't out back then.
I wish I can say it's my favorite, but I do appreciate it so much that it gave Zachary those early years of just dancing and singing. So
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
I hope I do it justice.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Okay, Zach, what do you think it
Okay.
is?
I don't know. No.
A chicken?
Um.
Oh, what do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Baymax.
Baymax? It does look like Baymax, actually.
Does it?
It really does
Okay,
look
I
like
need to take
Baymax.
these.
It really does look like Baymax.
Baymax. Oh, okay, but yeah, I guess it does.
Looks like Baymax. What's
I
on
think
the top
if
left?
what's that? Oh, I was trying to do a song note, but that
It
didn't
kind of look
work
like a stethoscope.
Yeah,
Let me see it again. Let's
I
guess.
don't know.
Let's guess.
Didn't really do it justice. It does kind of look like a chicken with a cross of Baymax.
I feel Baymax. I feel the Baymax vibes.
Hey yo. Baymax.
I guess you can say this would be like a little bigger. You know, if we made a few little changes, his arms are not so puffy.
It's a hero? Is he a hero?
Oh, and he has like a tail in here somewhere, big tail, like that. What about that? Does that help?
Does that help, Zachary? What does that look like?
Barney.
That's right. Do you remember
Is
Barney? Yeah, I didn't do this dinosaur justice, but Barney the dinosaur.
There you go.
There you go. It's a very interesting looking dinosaur, I will say.
Well, at least I put his head, where it's kind of supposed to be. I just wasn't sure. Yeah,
Barney's hard to draw because
so many pieces to him. I forgot his dinosaur tail, but I do have an appreciation for him because it was part of those happy, fun, singing, dancing moments. I just
yeah, you remember always singing and dancing a Barney together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody.
Mr. Zachary Valentine.
Yeah. Oh.
Watch out for the microphone, first of all.
Be careful, it'll
because
attack you.
It will attack you.
The break time.
What Crocs are you wearing today?
Oh yeah.
What Crocs are you wearing today, man?
Blue. Dark blue.
Oh, okay. Dark blue. But you know what color that is? That's a beautiful color.
What color is
I think
it?
it's one of my favorite colors. It's kind of a medium teal.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Honestly.
That's a beautiful because it matches your gorgeous dark teal shirt.
What the hell?
What is teal? Define teal for us.
Okay.
Because clearly he's like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
Because the dark teal.
A teal
all
is a
blue to me.
combination of your greens and blues. What do you think? No?
Oh yeah.
You're not impressed? You're not impressed?
You're not impressed with the definition of teal here?
It's not green, it's not blue, but it's that combination of the greens and blues. Such a pretty color. And then this coordination of color here. Zachary, what do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watch your back, bro.
No.
What's up?
Back.
We'll be right back
Guys.
after these messages.
Back to the chaos.
So it's about that time for this episode. Golden moments. Mom, what is your golden moment?
I think for me, just feeling that sense of gratitude, how far we've all come, how far Zachary has come, how far you have come, talking about those early days, how, at some point I obviously had to give myself that grace. And even going through those healing moments even now, just sitting here talking about those early days. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And I can tell you how grateful I am, even for those difficult moments, even for those moments that feel that just were never going to end. I'm so grateful for those because they've made me who I am today. They've strengthened my faith. it has brought me closer even to both of you. And my golden moment simply is understanding to just have faith and know that things will unfold as they should. And again, I couldn't be where I am without my faith. I couldn't be where I am, without knowing that I was doing my best. This time, my golden moment is about that healing and believing in a greater purpose, a greater reason. And I am happy today to know where things are and where all those things that happened in our lives played an important part in where we are today.
I think my golden moment is the continued realization of our strength as a family. Talked about it multiple times. There was a lot of times where it wasn't easy. But our resilience as a family, your resilience as a mother, Zach's resilience to continue to try to do things and do new things, and even his resilience to try to walk. We are a pretty resilient family, and I think that's beautiful. I think I admire both you and Zach for your resilience and strength and love that I just continue to admire it. And I think it's just so beautiful how you both keep moving forward in the good times and the difficult times. And it's very admirable.
You guys are worth it.
Thank you all for watching Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, follow us on all social media platforms, comment below,
2
thumbs up, all the platforms,
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Follow and then do YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube
Bye.
and Spotify and all major platforms. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm Patrick Valentine.
Zachary Valentine.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
And
it's a beautiful
beautiful
chaos.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.